So you have an antique booth in 2023, or you're thinking about opening up one. I think I have a few tips that might help you out. Now, I am no expert. I just want to make sure that's clear. I am not an expert at this at all. I've been in the business for a little while now, but there are people that do a better job than me, that know more than me, so I would just take everything that I say with a grain of salt. But I have learned a few things along the way, so I have compiled a list of 5 tips that I think will help you in your antique booth venture in this economy. Number 1, y'all, it's time to do something about that doom pile. Yes, I know. You just want to go source some more stuff. You need to process that doom pile. It's a doom garage and a doom storage unit, and it's all over my dining room table. I get it. Trust me, I do. But girl, you got to do something about it. You cannot let it sit anymore. It's money. You're allowing money to collect dust. It's money from the investment that you did when you initially sourced it. It's money that you could be making, and it's money that you're spending because you're racking up storage fees to just hoard all your stuff. These are all things that I need to implement myself, okay? This isn't about you. This is actually about me. So if it feels like I'm yelling at you, I'm actually just projecting myself onto you, and I'm yelling at myself. One good tip that I am going to start implementing for myself to eradicate the doom pile is taking 10 items from the doom pile over to the antique mall every week. If you are a more driven person, you could do 10 items from the doom pile every time you go to the antique mall. Someone that I just recently started following is the Doom Pile Diva. No, that's not it. She calls it a death pile. That's right. The Death Pile Diva. If you need some motivation to get through that hoard, I highly recommend that you go check her out. Tip number 2, Facebook Marketplace. You guys, it's where the eyeballs are. It's where people are searching for secondhand furniture. There's Craigslist, there's eBay, but ultimately, the user experience is better on Facebook because it leads with pictures. It's easy to communicate with sellers over there. With furniture sales being as slow as they are right now, I highly recommend that you post your furniture on Facebook. If they're already in the antique mall, you can also post your antique mall location there in the description, and people can go check it out when they want to, or at least when the antique mall's open. Let me give you a few examples of Facebook Marketplace listing that I think can be improved upon and one that's good. This first one, they're advertising that big table there, and I appreciate that they have good pictures, but they only have 3 pictures. They don't have any detailed shots. They also are kind of covering the whole table, and as you scroll down, they don't have any dimensions, and it looks like this is in a store, but they don't say where. So I'm sure this seller is just fielding those really simple questions all day long. What are the dimensions? Where is this located? Do you have any more pictures? And you can easily answer all those questions ahead of time in the pictures or in the description. Now, this listing I feel like is great because she utilized all 10 pictures that she had available to her. She took a lot of detailed shots. She shows you the sides. She shows you the back. She even shows you the little crack that's in the marble and inside the drawers. And as you scroll down, you can see where she's included the dimensions, and she reiterates that crack's there. Really good listing. I don't need to ask her any extra questions. This listing right here is an old Facebook Marketplace listing of mine of this corner cabinet. I actually showed the dimensions right there on picture number 2, so people didn't even have to scroll down. Lots of detailed shots, the back, the top, the sides. And when you scroll down on this one, because that piece of furniture was in the factory antique mall at the time, I showed the location. I even gave the hours of the factory antique mall. I like doing it that way just so people can go check it out. There's no pressure from me as a seller. I would highly recommend using Facebook Marketplace right now. Please get your furniture pieces in front of more people. And also just to remind people that the antique mall that you're in is still there. It's just also a really good marketing tactic as well. So you've processed your doom pile. You're listing stuff on Facebook. It's time to start sourcing again, but this time around, we're going to be thrifty and we're going to be picky. We're going to go to thrift stores. We're going to go to yard sales. We're going to get inventory through word of mouth, people giving stuff away, estate sales. And we're also going to be picky in what we're picking up. We are so bad at that as antique and vintage owners. Oh, well, I'll make a few bucks on it. That's all I need. You need to be doing 3 to 4 times, preferably 4 of your initial investment. Once again, these are things that I need to do more often myself. I'm doing better at that. Early in my business, I did not do a good job at watching my margins. So we're getting thrifty and we're getting picky. We're not overspending and we're avoiding all unnecessary fees. And unfortunately, that's auctions right now. Auctions and the buyer's premium premiums. Not all auction houses, but a lot of them. When I'm not paying attention to auctions, everybody's getting good deals, but the moment I start to bid, everybody and their grandmother wants the same thing I want. Number 4, how are you going to get your business in front of as many eyeballs as possible? That's right, Instagram. I know you don't want to hear it. You've avoided social media up until this point. I'm so proud of you, but it's time to use the free advertising. If I was just starting out today, I would use Instagram. Facebook, it's just so clunky on the business page side of things, but Instagram tends to still be pretty user-friendly. It's great for searching antiques and vintage and hashtags. You can make an argument for TikTok and YouTube, but I think if you're just starting your social media journey, that is more than I would start with. I would just start with Instagram and learn how hashtags work, how sharing works, tagging and Insta stories, things like that. Amanda, I can't seem to get any followers. Hopefully the antique mall that you're in also has social media. I would go to them and say, hey, antique mall owners, tag me in anything that you post about my booth. You can also put your social media on your business card. They see that you have social, maybe they'll follow you that way. Another good way is if you are going into an antique mall to do like market research and you come across a booth that you like that has social media, you could share their booth out on your stories and tag them. And I wouldn't expect this, but if they happen to like what you captured, maybe they'll share it on their stories and you'll get in front of their followers. This is actually a really good example. Bramble and Brown came by the Factory Antique Mall the other day and my booth, and they shared that they were there and tagged me in their stories. I don't always see them in time, I'm so sorry, but in this case I caught it in time and I was able to share their stories onto my stories. By doing that, they were able to get put in front of people that maybe don't know about them, and now they do. Another great example of somebody really using their Instagram stories effectively is the Gatheress. She'll put a full vignette in her booth on her Instagram stories and then go through and mark exactly what the prices are on those pieces. Gives her followers a chance to check out exactly what she has without having to drive all the way to her shop. Yep, Instagram, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to use it. And remember, these are all things that I need to implement myself. If you're sitting there thinking, Amanda, you don't really use Instagram the most effective way you could, I agree completely. Number 5, how does your booth look? Be honest, how is it? Really, you're going to answer this question differently depending on the kind of booth that you have. If you have a booth that's more about someone kind of digging through your stuff and finding a treasure, great. I love shopping those booths. As long as I can still walk through them, I'll search through your stuff all day. For me and my personal style booth, I kind of just need items to be able to breathe a little bit. I need to make sure that I'm going in and organizing, cleaning, fluffing, moving things around, and making sure that it's stocked. One thing that I think is an easy fix that I notice a lot when I go to different antique malls, light bleach tags. Nothing signals that something has been sitting there for a long time than a light bleached tag. I'm automatically thinking that there's something wrong with it or that it's overpriced. Just replace the tag. Put a new tag on there. Don't write over it. Get a new tag. Also, how are your prices? Do they make sense for the current market? Do they make sense for the market that you're in? Like 6 years ago, we had a new dealer come into the antique mall that was from California, and they could not figure out why their California priced items weren't selling in Central Virginia. Understand your market, do your market research, and just make sure those prices are reasonable for this economy. Right now, people are really focusing in on essentials for them and their family, and they're not spending the dollars on anything that isn't going to be useful for them. Are you investing in items that people are going to be able to use? Here's a few little extra tidbits. I would highly recommend that we just up our education a little bit. YouTube, it has so many good antique and vintage dealers. One example being the Antique Nomad. He's really great for information when he's walking through these antique markets or antique stores or thrift stores. He can tell you anything about any piece. I feel like watching him just once a day really helps my antique and vintage knowledge. I am not well versed in antiques and vintage. If you couldn't tell. Every video there's something I'm mispronouncing or I didn't say right or I mislabeled. That happens a lot. You need to have an understanding of what you can make back on these pieces, and having the power of knowledge to do that while you're there in the moment, having to make those decisions is really important. Another tidbit is maybe you want to invest into a show, market, pop-up event of some kind. Now the downside of it is it's a little bit of a gamble. You're making an initial investment that hopefully is going to pay off. At least in our area, events are very popular at the moment, and that will give you a chance to do some community outreach, hand out a few business cards, maybe. And my last tidbit, you could do a sale or two. I go back and forth on this. I am happy to negotiate with anybody that reaches out. The antique mug calls and says somebody has an offer. I'm happy to hear it. I will definitely counter, if not say yes to that offer. So I'm not against giving discounts, but I don't love the idea of always running a sale or pricing in such a way that I then can implement a sale to not trick, but to play on that consumer psychology. I don't love doing that. I think it kind of trains customers to always expect a sale. And if you are a customer of mine, I hope you can understand. It's not that I don't want to give you a deal. It's just, it's not something that I always want to have running in my booth. I think if your margins are amazing and you're making 10 times your initial investment and you want to move through inventory a little quicker, I think you got the room to have a sale, a 10%, 20% sale. But that's a call that you need to make as a business owner and kind of think about what you want to do with your booth overall. Is that something that you like regularly want to do? Do you want to make an event out of it? I'm going to throw it out there because I feel like someone's going to bring it up. Yes, you can do a sale, but I don't think you have to. I think if you implement these other tips into your business plan as well moving forward, I think those can all help you generate new customers, more sales. I'm trying to film this 6 times today and my camera's telling me that it is overheating again. If you feel like I missed something in this video and you have ideas, tips, tricks that you feel like would be helpful during this economically tough time for antiques, vintage, and just the market all around, leave those thoughts down in the comments. Please don't take any of this personally if you're not currently doing any of these tips yourself. I'm not either, so I need to do them just like you need to do them. I need to do them, you need to do them, we both need to do them. I think I did it. I think I got this. I think I got this video. I think I did it. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.